Alright guys, how's it going? So for this video, I want to focus a little bit more on the second build that I use predominantly. So mostly I use Cam and CM. This season I'm going to be playing CM more, so I'm going to be using that build more, but I also am playing Cam in like 5 or 6 other leagues. So for the Cam build, pretty straightforward again. Um, I like to run Cam a little bit shorter, just for that little bit of agility that it gives. Um, so I would put the what's it called? My height at 5'6". That's a sweet spot for me every time. I just like that height. So the thing with Cam is it's a lot different from center mid, right? So I would never put anything on defending as a Cam. The only things that really matter the most as a Cam are anything with dribbling, passing, shooting, pace. That's your 4 main categories as a cam. Um, so what I do is the kind of player that I am. I always max out passing to begin with. When I get all my skill points, I max out passing as fast as I possibly can, just because it's so important for me to be able to just move the ball, control the ball, control the game, blah blah blah. Right? That's always what I do. I max out passing instantly. Um, Now for you guys, is this is where it gets tricky because there's a lot of cams I played against or played with that they're like a scoring cam, like they're like a Bruno Fernandes cam, right? They get the ball, they want to pass or they're gonna shoot, one of the two, right? But then you have other cams who play kind of like De Bruyne, who their main focus is just pass, 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 right? Or then you have guys like Ozil who can pass just as good as the other two, or even probably even better, and then really good at dribbling and just controlling the ball and not losing the ball basically, right? So I would say those three right there. Pick your poison. Who do you want to play like out of those three players, right? Me, I kind of identify more with like De Bruyne, so I'm gonna be focusing on passing. Um, then I'm gonna put a little bit of dribbling on just for ball control. I know he doesn't really like do skill moves, but he's really good at controlling the ball. And then physicals, um, just because I want a little bit of more stamina or whatever. But this FIFA has changed the way physical works. So you don't start out with as much stamina as you always used to, and then your stats don't increase as much. Or I don't think they increase at all, really. They increase, but not as much as they used to in previous FIFAs, right? So that's where it gets tricky with your physicals. Like you can add stuff to it, but it won't really do much because it doesn't really take you anywhere. Right? Your player is always gonna feel slower and less physical than he did last year. So like, don't expect him to feel the same. He's not gonna feel the same. I've already put like 100 games on both accounts combined, and it doesn't. My player doesn't feel the same. Right? I can try the same things I did last year, but I just can't shoot the same or run the same, pass the same. Everything's a little bit different, so you gotta adapt to that once you start playing. So I wouldn't add anything on physical defending, of course, because I'm a cam, but I would add everything on passing and dribbling and shooting. Um, if you're kind of a guy or girl that likes to like make runs from midfield, you might want to put a little bit more on pace, right? I'm content with 80 pace. That doesn't bother me. Like I don't play fast anyways. But if you play fast, you might want to add a little bit on pace just to, get that little bit of edge. Um, but yeah, once you get, you know, all your passing and your dribbling and your shooting or pace, right? As far as shooting goes, let me point this out real quick. As far as shooting goes, I'm focused on only one side of shooting whenever I get shooting traits, right? So I'm not putting it on like both sides of the tree. I'm putting it on one side for the most part. So if you see like this sniper archetype, the plus 13 free kick accuracy. If you're a free kick taker, definitely hit that. Or if you Now it's finishing archetype. It's gonna focus more on scoring. 91 finishes where you're gonna end up, right? So are you what kind of cam are you? Are you a scoring cam, or are you a creative cam that occasionally shoots the ball, right? That's kind of what where that goes. So, but for me, I'm maxing out passing and I'm maxing out dribbling first for the most part, and then I'm gonna put a little bit on shooting. Nothing on pace for me. Like I said, I don't really rely on pace. Um, so then you go to perks. This is where it gets really interesting. So there's a couple perks that I would say you probably need as a cam. Anyone of active first touch, precision pass, threaded pass, distance shooter, physical strength. Like those for me are my bread and butter. If I'm gonna be playing cam. Now this depends if I'm playing a more attacking cam, like in a 4-2-3-1, and I have to do a lot of running, getting behind the striker and do things like that. Or if I'm playing a 3-5-2 and I have two strikers with me, so I don't have to run as much. I'm doing more of the passing, right? So it just depends on what your role is as a cam, right? Now there's a couple other traits you could put. Set piece specialist. If you're a guy that's really good at taking free kicks or whatever, you might want to put this on. I'm not really good at free kicks. Um, I'm good at corners generally, so or like lobbing the balls off of free kicks and things like that. But like shooting free kicks is not really my thing, so I would never put this on. But if that's your thing, you could put that on. Um, and then as well, sorry, I didn't mention this, but skilled dribbler is also a good trait to have. Now, you should probably never put any of these five together at the same time, because it gets a bit redundant, right? So like, look here. Grants the flare trait. Grants the flare trait. Swerve, flare, early crosser traits. Flare trait. Flare trait. If you want to be guess more shooting cam, or really up your passing, I would get one of these three right here, because it gives you swerve, flare, and 5-star weak foot. Swerve, flare, 5-star weak foot. Swerve, flare, 5-star weak foot. Swerve is one of the craziest attributes in this game that people don't really like realize how crazy this attribute is. Like, it increases your accuracy of passing and shooting so much more, right? Skill dribble just gives you the flare trait, right? And increases your dribbling. But if you maxed out your dribbling in the skill tree, why would you need the skilled dribbler, perk? It doesn't really make sense, right? Same thing with active first touch. Yeah, it gives you better ball control, acceleration, and sprint speed. But if you had already upped your pace, because you're like a more running cam, you wouldn't need this either, right? So make sure when you put all your traits on for the player that you don't get perks that are giving you what you already put on your player. You got to make sure that all your perks are things you don't already have on your player. So if you don't have 5-star weak foot, get it with one of the perks. If you already have it, then you don't need one of the perks that gives you it. Right? So that's kind of the gist of it. So for me, once all my perks unlock, I'm gonna remove active first touch. I'm gonna have precision pass still on there. I'm gonna keep distance shooter on there, and then I'm gonna either put physical strength or tireless runner on there. That's kind of what my thing would be. One thing I would say to not use as a cam or whatever is one of these 15-minute like perks that only last 15, because they're so useless. Like, what if you don't, like, look at this one right here. If you don't score, you can never use this perk for an entire game. If they never score on you, you can never use this perk for an entire game. So it's just like, make sure you use perks that are useful all around the game, all through the game, right? And I think that will serve you guys the best moving forward. But yeah, that's what my player looks like as a cam. And hope this video helps you guys, and hope you have fun with FIFA 22. See you next time.